There is a truth that many tender souls feel, but rarely name. When you carry light within you, it will not always be welcomed. Love, the brightness of your spirit, the depth of your sensitivity, the quiet strength of your empathy, all of it has the power to stir admiration, but also envy, resentment, love, and hidden hostility in those who have not yet faced their own shadows. They look upon you and are reminded, not of what they are, love, but of what they have denied within themselves. It is not your fault. To walk with a heart open, love, to feel with an intensity that others cannot bear, is to reveal a mirror they would rather avoid. Love, your presence brings to the surface their insecurities, their failures, their refusal to embrace their own truth. And so, love, instead of gratitude, you receive judgment. Instead of warmth, you meet coldness. Instead of companionship, love, you face the covert sting of resentment. Yet this is not a curse. Love, it is a testament to the fact that you carry something rare, something that unsettles the shallow, something that awakens the sleeping. Love. The world is full of those who wear masks, who cling to appearances, who live in the shadows of their own unlived lives. When they encounter one who dares to shine, they are torn between admiration and hatred. They long for your freedom, love, but fear the pain of shedding their chains. Do not let their resentment turn you against yourself. Do not dim your light to protect them from their own darkness. Remember, what they despise in you is the very thing they have abandoned in themselves. You are not responsible for their bitterness, love. You are responsible only for remaining faithful to what lives within you. Your sensitivity is not weakness, love. It is strength in its purest form. Your empathy is not naivety. It is the rare courage to feel in a world that numbs itself to pain. And your light is not arrogance, love. It is the quiet radiance of a soul that has dared to stay alive in a world that tries to suffocate authenticity. Walk on, then, love, without apology. Let the resentment of others be the evidence that you are touching something deeper than comfort, love. And know that your light will not be extinguished by their shadows, for it was never theirs to control. It is yours, and it was born to burn. Light awakens both admiration and resentment. When a person carries within them a natural brightness, love, a presence that radiates authenticity and warmth, it becomes impossible for others not to notice. Some are drawn to it instinctively, love, as if a flame pulling moths closer, captivated by the beauty of what they sense but cannot fully describe. They feel inspired, uplifted, love, even healed by being near such energy. In that light, they catch glimpses of their own forgotten truths and possibilities, love. They see a reflection of what life could be, if only they allowed themselves to live with openness, honesty, and depth. This admiration can be pure, and it can nurture connection, love. Yet alongside admiration, something else is always born: the shadow of resentment. For those who are not ready to face themselves, love, the light of another acts as a mirror that is far too clear. It shows them what they lack, what they fear, love, what they have long buried under denial and pretense. They cannot look at such radiance without also confronting the hollowness within, love. And instead of embracing that discomfort as a call to awaken, they project their unease outward, love. What should be a reminder of their own potential becomes an irritant, a threat, love, a reason to despise the one who carries what they cannot bear to face. This is why admiration and resentment so often walk hand in hand, love. The paradox lies in the fact that those who secretly resent the light are often magnetically drawn to it, love. They may seek it out under the guise of friendship, affection, or dependence, love, because some part of them longs for the healing and inspiration that such presence provides. Yet the very same closeness stirs envy, love, insecurity, and hostility. They cannot tolerate the constant reminder of their own shadows, love, yet they also cannot let go of the warmth that exposes them. This creates a hidden tension, love, a subtle but powerful dynamic where the bearer of light becomes both cherished and resented at once, love. The one who shines does not intend to provoke such reactions. Their light is not forced love. It is simply the natural result of living in alignment with truth, of refusing to betray the inner self. But to others, love, it becomes a disruptive force. It challenges their masks, their comfort in half-lived lives, their excuses for remaining asleep. Love, this disruption feels like judgment, even if no words are spoken. And so, resentment grows in secret, festering behind smiles. Love, concealed beneath polite words, hiding under the surface of admiration. Love. It is in this strange balance between attraction and hostility that the empath or the sensitive individual often finds themselves. Love. They cannot understand why the very qualities that make them who they are evoke such mixed reactions. They wonder why kindness, depth, or authenticity can lead to coldness or betrayal. But the truth is that light is never neutral. It either awakens what is noble in others, love, or it stirs the shadows they would rather not see. In either case, it forces a confrontation. And confrontation, love, whether welcomed or resisted, is the inevitable effect of carrying inner light. Resentment reflects others' unacknowledged shadows. Love. When someone encounters a person whose presence radiates authenticity, compassion, or inner strength, love, it awakens within them aspects of themselves they have long suppressed. These suppressed parts, desires, emotions, dreams, love, or truths they have denied, do not disappear simply because they were pushed into the unconscious. They remain alive beneath the surface, love, waiting for a moment when something external brings them into awareness. The light of another person becomes that trigger, love. It exposes what lies dormant in the hidden corners of the psyche, and instead of gratitude, many respond with irritation, defensiveness, love, or hostility. This reaction is not truly about the one who is being resented, love. It is about the unresolved conflict within the person who feels the resentment, love. They look outward and believe the other has caused their discomfort, love, when in truth the discomfort is born from the shadows they refuse to claim, love. What they resent is not the other's existence, but the mirror it holds before them. They resent the reminder of what they could be, the unfulfilled parts of themselves that they abandoned out of fear, guilt, or conformity. Every smile, every act of compassion, love, every expression of authenticity becomes a silent accusation, love, not because it was intended that way, but because it points to their own betrayal of self. The shadow is formed by all that is repressed, love denied, or considered unacceptable in a person's inner world. When these aspects remain unintegrated, they fester. They seek expression, love. But because the conscious mind rejects them, they emerge indirectly, often through projection, love. The one who resents projects onto others the very qualities they cannot accept in themselves. If they despise someone's sensitivity, love, it is because they have smothered their own. If they feel contempt for someone's light, it is because they fear their own buried potential, love. Thus resentment becomes a distorted reflection of the inner struggle. In relationships, this dynamic can be subtle yet powerful, love. An empath or sensitive person may offer kindness and understanding, only to be met with sarcasm, criticism, or coldness, love. The one receiving this kindness may even rely heavily on it, yet still harbor an undercurrent of bitterness, love. The contradiction lies in their inability to reconcile admiration with the discomfort of their own shadows, love. They want the warmth of the other's presence, but they cannot stand the way it highlights what they are unwilling to face, love. This creates a cycle where resentment is hidden beneath smiles, dependence cloaked in hostility, closeness poisoned by unspoken envy, love. The tragedy is that resentment, when unacknowledged, prevents growth, love. Instead of seeing the light in another as an invitation to awaken their own, they turn it into a threat, love. Instead of confronting the parts of themselves that demand attention, they externalize blame and avoid responsibility, love. What they cannot accept in themselves becomes intolerable in others. And so, resentment thrives as a defense against the painful but necessary work of self-recognition. Empathy and sensitivity are strengths, love. not weaknesses. In a world that often glorifies hardness, detachment, and the ability to move forward without feeling love, those who carry deep sensitivity are frequently misunderstood. They are told they are too emotional, too fragile, too vulnerable. Love, as if their ability to feel deeply is a flaw that must be corrected. Yet the truth is the opposite. Love. To be sensitive is to have access to layers of reality that many cannot perceive. It is to notice what others overlook. Love. To hear what is not spoken, to feel the currents beneath the surface of human interaction. Love. This capacity is not a burden, but a form of intelligence that reaches beyond logic into the very essence of life. Love. Empathy is often mistaken for passivity, as though feeling deeply makes one incapable of strength. But empathy is an active force. Love. It requires courage to step into the experience of another, to feel their suffering without turning away. Love. To open oneself to pain that could easily be ignored. It is far easier to build walls, to dismiss others. Love. To close the heart in the name of survival. To remain open, to keep the heart soft in a world that rewards hardness. Love. Demands an inner fortitude that is invisible to those who live behind their defenses. Love. Sensitivity allows one to perceive danger before it strikes, to sense the hidden emotions in a room, to understand what words cannot express. Love. This perception is not weakness, it is an early warning system, a guiding light, a compass that points toward truth. Love. The sensitive soul may be shaken more easily, but it is this very openness that grants them resilience, because they are willing to feel, love, process, and transform what others suppress until it destroys them. Love. Strength is not measured by how little one feels, but by how deeply one can endure feeling without collapsing into numbness. Love. The empath who absorbs the energy of others and still manages to carry themselves forward demonstrates an inner power far greater than the one who avoids vulnerability altogether. Love. Sensitivity allows for connection, and connection is the foundation of all healing, all transformation, all genuine human experience. Love. Without it, life becomes mechanical, stripped of meaning, reduced to hollow pursuits. Love. Those who mock sensitivity often do so because they fear their own love. They see openness and confuse it with fragility, because they have been taught to equate survival with suppression. Love. But the sensitive person proves that survival does not have to mean shutting down the heart. Love. Empathy shows that true power lies not in domination or control, but in the willingness to embrace the full spectrum of human existence. Love. It is a strength that does not shout but resonates quietly, a strength that does not seek attention but changes lives by its presence alone. Love. Do not dim your light to ease others' discomfort. When a person carries within them a brightness that unsettles others. Love. The temptation is strong to shrink, to make oneself smaller, to hide what is natural in order to preserve peace. The sensitive heart feels the sting of envy, the coldness of resentment. Love. The quiet hostility that radiates from those who cannot bear the reflection of their own shadows. Out of compassion or fear of rejection. Love. The bearer of light may choose to withdraw, soften their voice, hold back their gifts, and pretend to be less than what they are. Love. Yet each time this is done, a piece of the self is sacrificed at the altar of another's comfort. Love. The discomfort of others does not belong to you. It arises from their own inability to reconcile with themselves. Love. From their refusal to confront the parts of their being they have long buried. When they are near someone who radiates authenticity, love, it highlights the hollowness they feel within. They are unsettled, not because of your presence, love, but because your presence reminds them of their absence. Love. To dim your light for them is to accept responsibility for wounds that are not yours, to carry a weight that was never meant for you. Love. The act of hiding one's light may seem harmless, even compassionate, but it is a slow form of self-betrayal. Love. Each time you choose silence when your truth longs to speak, each time you downplay your strengths so others will not feel insecure, each time you pretend not to see what you clearly perceive, You deny your own essence. Love. What begins as an effort to preserve harmony becomes a prison of your own making. Love, where authenticity is traded for acceptance and inner freedom is traded for false belonging. Love. The world does not benefit when you make yourself less. Your light exists to reveal, to awaken, to guide. Love. Even if it unsettles those who encounter it. The very discomfort others feel.